So today we are going to talk about the absolute marmite of cryptocurrency. So if you don't know what marmite is, it is a British spread-based food, which people either really, really love or they really, really hate. There's absolutely no in between for it. And this is in relation to meme coins. So it looks like whether we like it or not, meme coins are here to stay, and they are here to stay in a very big way. Since the popularity boom of Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and Pepe, it seems like people cannot wait to try and get in on the latest meme coin launch. So I had personally bought Dogecoin back in, it was around about February of 2021. And I was so excited to own some Dogecoin. I couldn't even tell you why. I remember the excitement of it. And I remember being with my best friend at the time, and I remember telling her all about it. And she looked at me like I'd lost the plot a little bit. So currently the meme coin industry is valued in the region of it's around about $23 billion. And it only seems to show signs of rapidly increasing as we come into 2024. So I decided I wanted to properly look into what exactly are meme coins and why do they gain traction so fast in the markets. So let's jump into it. So memes are images, videos, or other forms of media which are typically created purely just for humour purposes. And there is a social element to it too, where memes are created and spread from person to person on the internet. So you probably find that most days you either see a meme or you send a meme. I know that I religiously send every single meme that makes me laugh to the same two people probably every single day. So meme coins are effectively created from socially trending memes that have gone viral in some way. So one thing to remember is that literally anybody with an internet connection can create a new cryptocurrency and call it anything that they want. So the original and arguably the most recognisable meme coin is of course our very beloved Dogecoin. Doge was released in 2013 as a spin-off from the viral dog meme you can see right here. And since then the memes have snowballed, and when I last looked, CoinMarketCap shows over 1,500 meme coins under their section. However, not all of those are still actively traded. So the main thing that I have wanted to know is why are meme coins so popular, and why on earth do people chuck their money at something which doesn't have any value from what I can see? Meme coins are basically like that high school popularity contest that you have. They're the most hyped up on social media, and they tend to be the ones that most people will FOMO right into. They're the ones that everybody wants to be around and everybody wants to talk about. I do remember telling my friend about my Dogecoin investment, and she naturally thought I had gone completely insane. But if I told her that I'd invested £100 into Dogecoin and turned it into £10,000, what do you think would have happened? So she probably then would have definitely invested, or if not, she would have at least considered investing into it. And then she'll go off and tell her friends that she knows somebody who 100x their investment on a meme coin. And the chances are a few of them would want to risk it as well. So then as the more hype builds up around a coin, and start jumping influencers and celebrities who start pumping the coin, and before you know it, the buy pressure is huge and the value of the coin will skyrocket. So I think that the bottom line of it is that people are drawn into the possibility of crazy returns if they can time it correctly. So this involves timing your entry correctly, timing your exit correctly, because at any given time, these coins can dump, and they do dump fast. However, I do think there are some very dark sides to the meme coin industry that aren't ever really discussed. And this is what can become a very quick way for people to create what is known as rug pulls. So if you're new into cryptocurrency, a rug pull in the crypto industry is when a development team will suddenly abandon a project and it sells or it removes all of its liquidity, and effectively it takes all investors' money and it runs. So this is why conducting your research before investing any of your money into cryptocurrency, not even just in meme coins, but in general, is really so important. Hitting the headlines recently and more frequently is people who have invested, say, $100 and they've walked away with millions. This was especially quite common with not common, but you heard about this with projects such as Bonk and Pepe. So there was an anonymous trader who invested $27 into Pepe right after its launch, and they made over $1 million in this trade. Now, even I think, wow, this is amazing. It could be worth the risk for $27. But what is not well publicised is people who also lose substantial amounts of money into them. So there's a story of a trader who lost $147,000 in a month on NFTs and meme coins. So I think it's important to stress that yes, you could be the 1 in a million who gets the moonshot timed perfectly, but you're also risking it all entirely with the volatile price changes. And it really does come down to pretty much your own risk management and your risk tolerance for this. So why am I so skeptical on the meme coins when Dogecoin was actually the only one that I was profitable on? But there's a few reasons. So the lack of utility or use cases for them stresses me out massively. They're ran effectively on just social hype, which, as we know, it can die off in an instant. Things come into trend, things go out of trend, and suddenly you're just left holding a bag of absolutely nothing. Now, I do know that some meme coins have of late started to adapt with some utility, but they're never going to be as strong as actual proper cryptocurrency projects. Another thing that really stresses me out with them is the volatility levels. So I am someone who will check on things every 3.5 minutes. I can't help myself, it's just how my brain works. I will deliberately go on and check. I remember when I had Dogecoin, I constantly had it open to see how it was doing. Constantly, and it was an absolute nightmare. So I know that if I started investing in meme coins again, or if I started putting any kind of serious money into them, I probably would not be able to sleep at all. So for me, I don't think it would personally be worth the stress levels. I do not have the risk tolerance to be able to execute an investment into them. Maybe I'm still a little bit stung from the whole Celsius thing, but the thought of losing even more money into cryptocurrency on something that I knew would be very high risk and a very high chance of it all going to zero and losing it all, it just makes me very reluctant to even kind of look into them. So we should also discuss if there are any positives, because I do like to be balanced on these things. But the only positives that I can think of myself is the possibility of, say, the 100x, the 1000x, if you get in before all of the hype of it hits. So there is a very high chance that if you get in early enough, you can make substantial amounts of money. But I think you would have to be very, very skilled in it to be able to get into one of these projects before they take off. So you definitely have a higher chance of bigger and faster returns than you would invest in, say, Bitcoin. But again, it's all about kind of assessing your own risk management for it. I also know that Solana has a huge boost due to the increase in meme coins that were launched on the ecosystem. And Solana has kind of become the go-to place for launching memes. And this is because of the scalability of it, and there's a lower barrier for entry for both creators and investors. From what I read about it, effectively Bonk saved Solana, from what I know. So after the FTX scandal and Bonk released on Solana, they'd done an airdrop to Solana holders, I believe. That could be wrong. And it gave it the boost back up that it was kind of desperately needing at this point. And another one that I've heard of, I've seen it in the comments as well, is Myro. Is a recent meme coin that's taken off, and it's dedicated to the Solana co-founder Raj Gopal's dog. And in the last month, it is up 350%, which is just absolutely bananas to me. But again, it's another dog coin, and it's because people love dogs. Everybody loves dogs, but it just has no use case. It has no utility. There's nothing to make it a substantial long-term investment, in my own opinion. I could be wrong on that. So I think that all in all, it's fair to say that with meme coins, there is winners and there is losers. And it kind of goes like that with all aspects of life, I suppose. But there's people who will make mass amounts of money. There's going to be people who will lose mass amounts of money. And that's just kind of how it's going to work. Now, I have seen the comments in a few of the other videos where people were asking about meme coins, or they were kind of hyping them up a little bit. So I am very sorry if this has come across as a negative video, but I am happy to have my mind changed on this. So you can put your arguments in the comments below. Try and convince me that meme coins are great, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.